Tonight at 9:30pm GMT over on the Cthulhu-Kin and Friends show, I shall be hosting a second part to the Mueller Report stream. This should be highly entertaining. Let's see how many more times Mueller can try and relate Russian people because they're Russian to Trump and consider that bad like Napster. Link to the Cthulhu-Kin and Friends show, the Mueller Report, and TrupsLP's channel down below. Now today we're going to talk about Ross Brain. This is Ross Brain. Ross Brain is a senior instructor at the gym at the Edinburgh University Sport and Exercise Club. Ross Brain has got himself to a little bit of trouble. Or we think he has. The outcome has you wonder, because we don't actually know his fate as far as the investigation into what he has done goes. What has he done, you might wonder? Well, let's talk about that. See, as is customary with gyms, they have classes. Some are programs that extend to a certain amount of time. The one that involves Mr. Brain is a 6-week course for ladies. The part that has gotten Mr. Brain into trouble, or perceived trouble, but we don't actually know the extent of the trouble, is where, in a WhatsApp group for the employees of the gym, suggestions were made for those who failed to turn up for the class. Now he suggested, let's rape her or give her the choice of 600 burpees or rape. I'm sure if a gun put to the head they'll do the burpees, but 600 is quite a lot. Still, not exactly something one should be saying in a chat room used by employees. Granted, it's not something officially used by the university. However, it is a line of communication used by employees for work-related conversation. This comment, obviously a joke, I hope, I really do. It sounds like one to me. I don't care for rape jokes, but I get it. However, to compound this, because I think most of us could brush that under the rug, as long as we didn't take offence to it, so I guess it depends on the individual's sensitivities. What didn't help this was when Mr. Brain then followed up with the comment, "No one up for this then?" I think most people could have excused the first one had he not said the second one, but the second one pretty much set in stone that regardless of how sarcastic it was intended, it was almost certainly going to be reported to HR at some point in the near future. And in this case, it was, which led to an investigation by the University of Edinburgh into the comments being inherently sexist and or misogynistic and or offensive and so on. Well, the investigation was meant to take place back in January, but nothing has come of this publicly, which has led to many concerns that the university is endorsing sexism, because without any statement, any public statement on this matter, and the university's somewhat contradictory zero-tolerance campaign, one of which is called Don't Cross the Line, many of the female employees who already feel that they are being treated unfairly at that particular club will feel further alienated by higher-ups who are not doing enough to tackle what they believe to be sexism in the workplace. I would point out that you're hardly going to be able to appease all the individual employees who took offence by what he wrote, because they're all going to have different ideas on how best to tackle such, quotes, sexism, end quotes. I'm going to let you decide whether or not what he said was sexist or a joke that went a bit too far. Many of the staff feel that they are being made to work in a toxic environment at this particular university's exercise fitness club, not just because the investigation was meant to happen in January and they've heard nothing since, and we'll certainly get to the statement the university has made about this all since that has happened, but also because they are being encouraged to do things that they believe are solely done to sexualize them. One example being that it is alleged that a senior manager has told female members of staff to wear tight leggings because it looks more professional. I would argue it does, and therefore it is not inherently sexist and is just some people taking offence to things far too easily. However, I do also believe that they should also be permitted, unless the university is going to provide the uniform, to wear other related clothing that is more fitting in a gym like that of leggings. Shorts, of course, qualify, tracksuit bottoms, of course, and a 3-piece suit for those who want to look fabulous. So it is possible that it is less a toxic environment, but simply offence being taken on a number of individual issues that have added up and appear to outsiders without full context to be sexist. Mr. Brain, as far as I'm concerned, said something really stupid in a DM that should never have been said. The employees, being passive-aggressive, decided instead of talking to him about it, which I think is the more grown-up thing to do, decided to go around him to fuck him. Because while the university holds a zero-tolerance policy, they do too, and figure, you know what, I'm going to get you fired rather than talk to you about this comment because it is unacceptable. Irony that I'm sure is not lost on you that you have a WhatsApp private DM group to communicate, and you failed to do that in person. Oh dear. Other instances being uniform related. The lack of clarity from the university with regards to the investigation they claimed to be doing after HR was informed about what Mr. Brain said. I do want to be clear on this. Mr. Brain should never have said any of those comments. The burpees, yeah sure. Perhaps he could have replaced rape with suicides. And I mean the exercise, not literally committing suicide over and over again. Seriously. Some colleges, some workplaces, do in fact offer anti-sexism classes. Maybe make him suffer that, I guess, until he can openly stand up and say, in some kind of AA-related setting but not at all anonymous in any way, shape or form, "Hi, my name is Ross Brain, and I am a sexist." I do also want to point out, which is kind of amusing at the same time, this college has been quite quiet on this, and that context, as we know in Scotland, doesn't really matter, so he should have been a court-appointed sexist by now, much like Scotland also has a court-appointed anti-Semite. Now, the university has put out a statement. We take incidents such as this very seriously. The use of such language is abhorrent and has no place in this university. We have a zero-tolerance stance towards sexual harassment of any kind and are absolutely committed to providing an environment in which all members of the university community treat others with dignity and respect. We put significant effort into reinforcing our zero-tolerance culture, including through campaigns such as Don't Cross the Line. While we do not comment on the detail or outcome of individual cases, we can confirm that a full disciplinary investigation has taken place in this instance. As Mr. Brain appears to still be in his job, the outcome of this was light, which I can understand. Many could argue the private DM group is not something that falls under the purview of the university, as it is not something that is issued as standard protocol. "Ooh, you get job, you must now have WhatsApp. Ooh, you get job, you must have Instagram to promote us all time." I don't know why I had to make that seem a bit Asian. Never mind. As with all cases like this, I am very much interested to know what you think. Upon reading the article which I've linked below, well, archive link anyway, gotta prepare myself for Article 11 and 13 after all, I do not believe the intention was to cause such offence. I believe it was to make light of those who do not turn up for class and offer reductio ad absurdum related penalties. However, in the workplace, it is perhaps not the wisest thing to do to recommend sexual assault as a punishment. And doubling down on your very poor taste joke, did you no favours? It would be recommended, Mr. Brain especially, that if you believe you've done wrong, that you apologise to those who took offence, because you're not going to find a way to appease them with the punishment they want you to have, which will undoubtedly range from demotion to resignation. Forced resignation, no less. Therefore, you should reach out to those who took offence, or maybe make a public statement yourself apologising for your comments, to try and make it appear that the workplace does not tolerate sexism, or perceived sexism in this case, and that women should not and are not being treated like they are sexualised objects who could be treated poorly, or be made to think they are subhuman by those who make poor comments, which just add to a number of issues that have been blown out of proportion very quickly by the easily offended. I guess it makes some sense that once enough issues start to stack up, people take a considerable amount of offence because they put their tinfoil hat on, their head or their vagina, and they've realised, Illuminati confirmed. Anyway, if I don't see you tonight over on the Cthulhu-Kin and Friends show for the Mueller Report Part 2, I hope you'll have a lovely day, and thank you all for listening.